Hello and welcome back to the David67 Celtic News YouTube channel. Today's video going to be obviously partly about the Idah deal that looks like it's close to being over the line, plus an update on several potential Celtic targets and several players who may be leaving Celtic or who have definitely left Celtic, plus one or two wee thoughts surrounding the Idah deal and the apparent deal that's taking Daniel Kelly away to Millwall. So before we crack on with the actual video, please do consider clicking that subscribe button. Keep the numbers pushing past 850 towards the end of 2024 target of 1,000 subscribers. Do click the like button if you like the video. It does help the channel immensely. And similarly, do pop your comments into the comment section regarding the Idah deal, the other topics of the video, and any other burning Celtic issues for a nice chat, debate, discussion amongst like-minded David67 viewers and subscribers. So, the breaking story yesterday evening, corroborated by several newspapers, several Celtic fan sites, the BBC and Sky, is that Celtic and Norwich had come to a confirmed price and deal. The general consensus is that it is 8.5 million upfront with potential of a further million in add-ons, and it's also thought that there's a 15% sell-on clause for any profit Celtic gain if they do resell Idah in the future. Multiple sources are saying that Idah is, as we speak, having a medical in London and then will be coming up to Glasgow to sign his contract with Celtic, believed to be a 5-year contract. His weekly salary at Norwich was in the region of £20,000 per week, and so I don't think the contract should be a big issue, as Idah is very, very keen to come to Celtic. Now, a lot of you and a lot of Celtic fan sites and message boards, etc., are feeling that the price is a bit higher than it should be. I fully agree that probably Idah is not a 8.5 million plus 1 million add-ons player, but given the prevailing transfer market and that you generally have to add 2 or 3 million onto any price of any player moving from England out of the Championship or the Premier League, then I think the deal for Idah is a good one. He's a player that clearly fits in well at the club, clearly has got very used to training methods, teammates, Brendan Rodgers, the coaches, the tactics, the formations. He was happy when he was at Celtic, and obviously there's no real cultural or language barrier for Idah moving from England to Scotland, and I think he is going to be a big success for Celtic and will score heavily in domestic football, as he did do in his loan period. I think he's also got the potential to score well in Europe if he gets proper service. I think it gives us options of resting and rotating Kyogo and Idah as our two first choice strikers. It does give us the option of having two up front, and so I think Celtic are making a very good move. Also would like to see Celtic signing a third striker, probably a striker a few years younger than Idah, to act as a backup. And it is a shame that it does look like Tommy Conway is on the verge of signing for Middlesbrough, as at 21 and being Scottish, I think Tommy Conway ticked a lot of boxes for a player good enough to play for Celtic in Scottish games and with the potential to develop into a player who does well in Europe as well as in Scotland. Does look like probably this time tomorrow or Thursday, Adam Idah will be announced as a Celtic player. One of the other wee things I don't want to say is almost certainly when the Idah deal is confirmed by Celtic, the fee will be down as undisclosed, as virtually every transfer deal these days is down as undisclosed. And I did note that in yesterday's various stories. Some were quoting 7 million, some were quoting 8 million, some were quoting 9 million. And I think in the end, no one's really going to know properly what the fee was or wasn't, what the add ons, what the contract is, except if people try to dissect the financial statements as part of the accounts for the AGM and for the stock exchange in April. Another move Celtic are actively pursuing at the moment is bringing Owen Beck to the club. It looks like Liverpool have set a £3 million transfer fee, which I think is entirely reasonable for a player of Beck's quality and potential, a player now a full international for Wales, a player who had clearly a very good half season for Dundee last year on loan. Not quite so good in the second part of the season for Dundee, and he also got injured towards the end. But I think Owen Beck at 21 is a player who's going to get better and better. I think in many ways he is an upgrade on Greg Taylor as a defender. He's taller, stronger, faster, and he's also got a lot of ability driving from defence into midfield, driving into the final third to deliver killer balls. Also quite an adept direct free kick and corner kick taker as well. So I think Beck would be a very good move for Celtic. One of the confusions is there's various different sources, some saying Liverpool want to sell him, some saying Liverpool want to loan him only. But it does appear there's a fair consensus that Celtic have been told £3 million would be the price for buying Beck. Now, hopefully over the next week or so, the Beck deal will get completed and bring him in by the end of August and the end of the transfer window. A couple other names linked to Celtic now appear to have gone. Hugo Bueno is on the verge of signing for Feyenoord. It appears that Feyenoord are not being given any option to buy Hugo Bueno at the end of that 1 year, which I think for me is quite a bad deal for Feyenoord. It should really be a 1 year loan with the option to buy at the end. Otherwise, all you're doing is bringing forward Wolves' player without there being any great benefit to Feyenoord or the club that loans him. Dara O'Shea of Burnley appears on the verge of signing for Brentford. O'Shea is another player, I think, where the fact that he was moving from an English Championship club added 3 or 4 million to his actual transfer value. And I think he actually will fit in better there than he would have done at Celtic. Another name that's come forward in the last day or two is a 29-year-old Peruvian international called Renato Tapia, player who recently left Celta Vigo at the end of his contract. He's currently available as a free agent. The rest of his career has been in a couple of different Dutch clubs. He has 120 games for Celta Vigo and 161 games for the two clubs that he played for in Holland, and has spent basically his whole adult professional career over in Europe. He's apparently back in Peru at the moment, considering his options. It's reported he has several different offers from Brazil, also an offer from Union Berlin, and there has been reported interest from Celtic. Renato Tapia has a very experienced Peruvian international with actually 84 caps for Peru with 5 international goals, plays primarily as a defensive midfielder, however also doubles up as a centre-back and a central midfielder, and so would actually cover several different options for Celtic. However, I'm very doubtful that there's any mileage in Tapia coming to Celtic. One player who has definitely left Celtic is Bojan Lawal. He has signed for Stoke, deal thought to be 2 million, rising to 3 million with add-ons. Wouldn't be the least bit surprised if there's also a sell-on clause where Celtic will benefit from any transfer fees Stoke get for Lawal in the future. A wee bit sad to see Lawal go. I think he was a player with an awful lot of potential. I think he had an excellent season at Fleetwood, and I think he would actually have been a very good utility player for the squad for the next couple of seasons in Scotland. However, Rodgers didn't seem to fancy him terribly much, and so he has been sold to Stoke for 2 million, rising to 3, and I think that's an excellent amount of money for a player of Lawal's ability and track record. Gustav Lagerbielke was given the option of a season-long loan with Malmo, who are currently leading the Swedish league, but he has turned that down. There does remain interest in Lagerbielke from several teams in Serie A and also several teams in the English Championship. And I think Lagerbielke is probably holding out for either a loan to any of those or, more preferentially for him, a permanent deal taking him away from Celtic Park. Celtic have reportedly also turned down a 1.2 million transfer fee from Legia Warsaw for Mike Nawrocki. We, of course, bought Nawrocki for 4.3 million around this time 12 months ago, and Celtic have quite rightly turned down that 1.2 million fee to take him back to the same club that we bought him from 12 months ago for 4.3. And one other player who looks like he may well be on his way out at Celtic, although not until January 2025, is Daniel Kelly, our promising academy player. Celtic have made him several offers. Multiple sources were saying that Celtic were offering him the equivalent of a basic salary of £250,000 a year, so around £5,000 per week, which would have been in line with several of Celtic's first-team squad players, such as Odin Thiago Holm, Yang, Luis Palma, and Liam Scales, although Scales' salary is thought to have gone up a wee bit since the quoted figures in the financial statements in 2024. It's thought that Kelly and his agent were looking for something in the region of £15,000 per week as a basic salary, which would have put him into the top half or even above the top half of all earners at Celtic Park. And so clearly £15,000 per week, £7.75 million a year for an 18-year-old with a few sub-appearances would be a rather overinflated amount of wages for a player. If he was coming in from another team, would be called a project player, i.e. a young, talented player with tons of potential, but not yet proven at the highest level. So, story is he's off to Millwall. He'll be moving to Milwall unless Milwall put in some form of transfer fee bid. At the moment, he'll be going to Milwall solely on the basis of compensation payment to Celtic, which would probably be in the region of around about £300,000. It may be Millwall offers Celtic somewhere a bit more than that and take him now rather than in January. Looking at Millwall's financial figure releases, I would be surprised if Kelly is getting the amount of money that he was demanding of Celtic from Millwall, as £15,000 per week would put him around about number 2 or 3 in the club's salary list and miles above all but one of the other under-21s in the Millwall squad currently. And so Millwall doesn't appear a particularly rich club or a club with a particularly high wage bill. And so a wee bit disappointing to see Kelly going. I think he would have been much better staying at Celtic, taking his chances, coming off the subs bench, occasional starts, maybe in cup matches for Celtic, and building up his career, as would be more usual for a player of 18. I dare say at Millwall he will be getting regular starts, probably in the first team, but Millwall are a perennial mid-table team in the English Championship, never really challenging for English Premier League status. Either way, I think Kelly's career would have been far better staying at Celtic. But if he does leave, I wish him luck and hope his career does better than Morrison's, Hepburn's, Dembele's. So we'll finish things off at that point there today. Hopefully in tomorrow's video we'll have full confirmation that Adam Idah has signed for Celtic. But I can certainly see Idah signing for Celtic by the end of the week and being available for the League Cup match against Hibs at the weekend live on TV. So just a final wee reminder, encouragement for all those not yet subscribed to the channel to click that subscribe button, keep the numbers pushing up towards my major next target of 1,000 subscribers. Do click that like button if you like the video, and as so many of you do, please do add your comments in the comment section regarding the topics of this video and any other Celtic issues for a nice chat, debate, discussion. So until tomorrow, a goodbye and hail, hail.